want to say welcome everyone to our opening summit, Connectedness. Welcome back if you were with us last month, and just welcome if this is your first time with us. Today we're going to be going over programming coming up and having kind of a discussion about our theme and introducing our leaders, and we'll have some time for questions and comments from all of you. But first I want to go over some housekeeping things for all of you. So first off, if you're not speaking, we ask that you please mute yourself throughout everything we're doing so we don't get background noise. Also, we have interpretation on this call, and please bear with us because this is our first time using this, but we have English to French translation. And if you want to set this up, I have some instructions for doing so. And you can see here, hopefully, by looking at my screen, there's a little icon that looks like the world. It says interpretation, and you can turn on the interpretation here. So if you're trying to do that and are having issues with that, you can type questions into the chat. And throughout, if you have any questions for our spiritual leaders about their program or their thoughts on the theme and you don't want to forget them, just put them in the chat as we go throughout, and I will address them all at the end to make sure we cover everyone's questions and comments. And I think those are all of our housekeeping items. So for today, we're going to start off by having all of our leaders for this month introduce themselves. And I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Rosemary.
Hello. I am having a little challenging moment here. Okay. I was have a challenging moment. Good morning, Mariah. I just sat down again. You're turning it over to me. I didn't hear what you were turning over to me.
Oh, you're just introducing yourself.
Okay, I'm Reverend Rosemary, sometimes known as a space cadet. It happens. And I'm talking about metaphysics, mostly, and the laws of the universe and the things that aren't so visible to us, but that are actually happening while the physical things are happening.
All right, thank you, Rosemary. Now we will have Jeffrey.
Oh, good day, everyone. I'm Jeffrey from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's been a pleasure to be sitting in this circle with the folks from around the world who practice spiritual modalities that include various shamanic practices, Native American traditions, and other spiritual practices. It's my desire and intention to bring calmness, comfort, peace, and love to all of my relations, humans, animals, the earth, and all the beautiful visions that we have been gifted. It's important during this segment of our lives to stay as balanced as possible to assist us in strolling through your journey. I offer full moon fire ceremonies each month, along with blog of positive energy with words and photos. It's a pleasure to be a part of Living Peace Now.
Great, thank you, Jeffrey. Now we'll go over to Oswaldo.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see new faces, new energy, how this world is connected. I'm Osvaldo Mora. I'm originally from Ecuador. I'm here in Chapel Hill for more than 2 years. We moved to Chapel Hill because that's what our heart says from the very beginning when we came here 20 years ago with my wife. And we fulfilled that dream and we are here experiencing it. And that is an invitation for everyone that it's possible to fulfill the dream. It is possible to fulfill the desires. The only thing that we have to do is learn the language of spirit. As Jen was saying, it's too hard, but it's not too hard when we learn that language. And that is something that I've been doing the last 22 years since I discovered that I was a shaman without knowing it. Now it's like being connected to LPN is putting everything together in a very good purpose. And let me tell you that it feels great to be connected, especially with the same intention, the light, transcend any situation and being together as a family, as we are one. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Great. Thank you, Oswaldo. Next, we're going to go over to Emilie.
Hello, my name is Emilie De Brienne, and my spiritual work involves working with others and myself in honest self-reflection, welcoming the tools and the communities that make us feel positive, empowered, and supported in our lives. In my role, I am a funeral celebrant, so I'm with people during some of the most difficult moments of their lives, as well as some of the moments of their greatest love. So in 4 meditation sessions that I'll be leading on connectedness, we'll take time to honor the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit or being. So we'll go deep and not be afraid to smile and laugh a bit in the process. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this community.
All right. Thank you, Emilie. Now we're going to go over to Mo.
Voilà.
Voilà. Qui peut traduire?
Oui, je crois que oui, je crois que Jean-Louis.
Bonsoir, bonjour à tous. Okay, bonsoir, bonsoir à toutes et à tous. Je suis content d'être là parmi vous.
Ah, on ne l'entend pas.
Alors, moi,
Moi,
en fait, je suis originaire de Paris, en France, et j'habite en Andalousie, en Espagne, depuis 4 ans.
Okay. He's from Paris and he has been living in where? Où donc tu habites? For 4 years. Alors, continue.
Andalousie, sort of Spain, no?
Okay. Ça y est.
Mon métier, c'est psychomagicien.
He's a psycho-magician.
Yes. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
What does that mean?
Ça veut dire que je cherche la magie dans les choses les plus simples.
He looks for the magic in the simplest
J'ai passé
things.
presque toute ma vie à chercher qu'est-ce que la conscience.
That's really what it means to be aware, is to look for the magic always.
All right. Thank you, Mo. And thank you, Rosemary, for helping us to understand. That was great. And finally, we have Lorraine.
Hey. Hello, everyone, and I'm really glad to be here. I'm excited to be a part of this community. And basic overview is over 30 years ago, something happened in my life that really made me want to see life for more than what was happening on the physical. So I began meditating, which led to becoming an affirmative prayer partner, and basically to make conscious contact with the divine essence within, or our truest self, or whatever you want to call it, whatever words. So, so that's the path I've been on ever since, and a variety of things have surfaced for me. I had a mystical healing experience, which led me into energy healing, and got trained in several of those modalities and the Traeger approach of Dr. Milton Traeger's body work, which is all based on being connected to source energy and feeling that in our bodies, actually feeling it, not thinking about it, but actually embodying it. And then more recently, I've become a heart math teacher, which I'm excited to share this month about because it's such a beautiful, simple technique that is so helpful and has many applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. So those were all of the spiritual guides that are present with us that are going to be doing programming this month. But we also are going to be having programming from Christine Geith. She could not be with us due to a conflict with her day job, but she will be doing spirituality and nature. Alex and Leland Weiss also are not here, but they will be doing some healing with their work with Tones for Your Bones. And finally, Janice is on, I think, but she was not, her programming was not confirmed, but Janice is also going to be doing some card readings. So there'll be more about that in the month to come. So those are all of our guides. They're very excited, and we'll hear from them again in a moment. Okay, so I see we're having a little bit of some tech struggles with the interpretation. So I have it turned off, so we'll see if that works. And now we're going to move on to Rosemary. Again, she's going to share with us the vision of Living Peace Now.
So, welcome to Living Peace Now. We're a nonprofit organization that gives you and your friends of all ages and relationships to you as you accept the opportunity to become peacemakers, a safe and friendly place to connect in conscious community. As you participate in short workshops, ceremonies, meditations, movement sessions, and relax and reflect peacefully, you will love reducing everyday stress while you also learn skills for beautiful relationships, for relaxing, for creating deep happiness, and for collaborating with others to actively create local and global peace. We're so glad that you're here. Our spiritual guides will help you deepen your consciousness through programs via Zoom, blog posts, and video blogs. We envision you using these resources to increase your innate power to create greater peace around you in collaboration with your friends and group mates. You'll enjoy meeting other peacemakers in live sessions and also through their comments in forums or in personal interest posts, which you'll see labeled as PIPs. So do a little bit of exploring on the site. We invite you to feel included by reviewing upcoming programs and choosing one or two to follow. You'll then receive reminders of these programs and be able to begin finding your peeps there. Our community members, peacemakers, and guides represent a beautiful spectrum of beliefs, languages, and traditions in which all can learn and participate. We will make it easier for everybody to participate by assuring the presence of translation. This is the very first time we have tried this in a meeting, and obviously it needs a little bit of fine-tuning, but we have come so far in the last week. I have no doubt that very soon there's just one or more steps. It's like a great big puzzle. Zoom gave us instructions, and they gave us wrong instructions, and they left out steps. So, and they have no service, no customer service. So we have been reading and looking at videos for hours and looking at the spaces between them and thinking, oh, that must mean this, and figuring it out. And there's about 40 steps to figure out. So we're close. We're excited to share with you what happens. We've experienced it ourselves in our discussions about some of these important subjects, is that when we are in a group of people who are safe to talk about serious things with, by the end of the discussion, it's like, I feel it as if all of a sudden there's way more fresh air and space for me to think and live in. And it's like a great revelation. And this is an experience that we look forward to sharing with all of our peacemakers, to have that experience of discussing an important subject with other people that come from other places, other cultures, other belief systems, and discovering that by sharing with these other people, we suddenly have more air to breathe and more room in which to live. And we are being very insistent with people about groups, about joining groups. And there is a secret power, a secret principle to that, which I will share with you when I talk about connectedness in a couple of minutes. Thank you, Maura.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Rosemary, for that great vision. And yes, thank you all for your patience as we are trying out all of this new technology. She is right, we will get it eventually. So now we're going to move on to the discussion of our theme, connectedness. And each of our guides are going to have a moment to speak about what connectedness means to them and how their work might promote connectedness either in the spiritual realm, the personal realm, or within their communities. So we're going to start off with Rosemary. And yeah, Rosemary, just share your thoughts with us on the theme and how your work helps promote connectedness.
Okay, to me, connectedness is magical. And we know that being connected with other people is magical in this physical realm. I will write a blog today, so please come back and look for it, telling you the wonderful story about quantum entanglements, which is one of the ideas at the very basis of Living Peace Now. How, without being aware of it, we create, whenever we bond with a conscious entity, with another person, with an animal, we create a bond of friendship and love that lasts forever. And that is what we are doing as connected peacemakers on Living Peace Now. So I thank you for listening and for being patient, and I will write about it because it'll take too long to tell you here now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. All right, and next we're going to go over to Jeffrey. Please share your thoughts with us on connectedness and how it relates to your work.
To me, connectedness is working within yourself, then being a part of a tribe or community where folks are offering knowledge for the growth and stability of all involved. This is becoming more apparent to me during these last few months, this last segment of my life, with all that's going on in the world, not just here or where you're at, but it's a global piece right now. It's opening up, to me, it's opening up a tremendous venue for all of us to follow and be creative. Bring your creative ways to keep balance You know, that's a task right now that includes open and honest communication to know where weak spots are. It's interesting to find for myself that we have a lot of weak spots that don't need to be there. Building this energy and offering it to others will help bring balance to the world, and that right now is what we, to me, connectedness is bringing balance to the world through our creativity and working in community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for your thoughts on how we might apply this in our daily life. And next, we would like to hear from Oswaldo. Please share your thoughts on the theme.
Connectedness. Actually, the first time that I heard that word was 1 week ago when I received the email with, "We're gonna talk about this," and I say, "What is that?" And of course, in my journeys, I've been working with without knowing the word, but experiencing the meaning. And at this moment, I think this word connectedness is very useful, because if I want to work in myself and I'm connected to everybody here, is that we are a mirror for each other. So what I think about my neighbor that doesn't work for me is something that I must work in me, in myself. So it's a great help to support each other through this meaning of connectedness, because that's the way we get information about ourselves, and we can transcend ourselves about this. And that is the way that I work with in shamanism, in therapies, in coaching, about reflecting how is my connection with the neighbor, because at this moment where everything is like this, is the way it is, being together as a community is not just wanting to be together, is being everybody sustaining in their own talent to make the real contribution from our essence, from our spirit. So that will be it in my part. Thank you.
Thank you, Oswaldo. Yes, it's also about the personal connection. Next, we're going to go over to Emilie.
So I enjoyed thinking about this topic, and I settled on the idea that connectedness is about touching. So it's about what we touch with our attention and what we are touched by. We are constantly communicating, we're giving and receiving with the world around us through our senses and through our experiences. So to me, connectedness is about that action of acknowledging both how we are impacted by the world around us and how we impact it. So I think that we can understand this best through self-awareness. And my work, I hope, promotes connectedness by holding space for people, holding space for them to be themselves, to connect with the range of emotions that they are feeling, and find the movement in those feelings, as well as finding the community they need to feel supported in their lives. So it's about connecting honestly with ourselves, realizing the capacity for change in our own minds, and our capacity to generate change in the community around us, either through our action or our inaction. So that's where I landed, and I hope we get a chance to speak more about this during July. Thank you.
Thank you, Emilie. Yes, great thoughts on the theme. All right, and next we're going to go over to Mo.
Who can translate?
I hope so. Can you hear me now?
Jean-Louis va interpréter.
Wait, Rosemary, you can hear me? Okay, let's go. Let's go, Mo.
La question, c'est
On y va?
On y va?
C'est ça la question.
Oui, Mo, vas-y, je t'entends.
Mais la question, c'est comment se connecter, c'est ça? Comment se connecter à la conscience?
Ah oui, 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 oui. Oui, qu'est-ce que la connectivité, la connexion? Connectedness.
Ok. Pour moi, il n'y a pas de recherche de connexion puisque nous n'avons jamais été déconnectés.
For me, there is no a research of connectedness because we have always been connected.
En fait, la recherche d'une connexion avec quelque chose, c'est une illusion du mental.
Actually, this research of connectedness is an illusion of the mind.
À partir du moment, en fait, où on se laisse pénétrer par la vie elle-même, nous sommes connectés. Nous n'avons jamais été déconnectés.
So if we are able to be impregnated by life, we are connected, and we have never been disconnected.
Par exemple, on marche on marche tous les jours. À partir du moment où on se demande comment on marche, on ne sait plus marcher.
For instance, we work every day, and once we ask why, how we can walk, we are not able to walk anymore.
Alors en fait, mon job à moi, c'est pas d'apprendre quelque chose, c'est de désapprendre ce qu'on a appris.
So my task is not to learn something, is to forget and to dislearn what we have learned, what we have taught.
Okay. Merci.
Thank you.
Merci.
All right, thank you. Yes, what a great reminder. It's always available to us to be connected. And finally, we'll end on Lorraine.
Okay, great comment there from Mo. I can, yeah, it's like, how do we remember that we are connected, right? And feel it and live it. So for me, it starts with connecting with your own truest essence, your connection to source, your higher self, whatever you want to call that. And when you have that relationship and that connection, I feel like you're automatically connecting in this unified field with everyone and everything in a profound way. And the work that I'm teaching this month, the heart math, totally even has all talk about science. Some people need the proof, other people don't care, but it teaches a technique where we really connect with our own hearts, and then we feel that within, and we are automatically radiating out to the world, and you can specifically radiate it out to people or situations. And so when you feel that within your own heart, soul, you feel connected to all that is pretty automatically. So that's where I'm coming from with it. Thanks.
Thank you, Lorraine. All right, so that was everyone who had responses prepared. So now we want to turn it over to the participants. If you have any questions or comments about the theme or any of the programs coming up that our spiritual guides are doing, at this time you can type them into the chat and I will call on you and let you know you can unmute if you would like to clarify a question or anything like that. So we'll just give you a couple minutes to maybe think about all the insightful comments and all the variety of programs and backgrounds our spiritual guides have, and see if it's brought up any comments or questions.
Christine, are you trying to talk? You have to unmute yourself, or is she typing?
Okay, yes, we'll go over to Emily for a question in a moment. And also, Louise said, I just want to say thank you all for saying yes to this opportunity to share your gifts. Thank you for your gratitude. All right, and we'll go over to Emily.
So, Lorraine, I just had a question about your program. Is it necessary that people have an understanding of what HeartMath is to participate in what you're doing, or is it more of an introductory course?
This is an introductory course. So I will give, not a brief overview of how it came about and the background and a bit of the science, and then we'll actually experience a couple of the tools so we can really feel it. And the science part's pretty interesting and pretty compelling to make us really want to stay in our hearts. So I think it's wonderful because it's a tool, whether you ever come to another class, if you take it with you for a lifetime, you can use it. And it's simple, but really profound and can make a big difference in every area of your life and your health and relationships and connecting with your truest guidance. So, does that pretty much answer what you were asking? Thank you.
So I see a question from Christine. She said she was at the summit and enjoyed it and thinks this is a great way for us to explain our programming. And she's wondering if we have an invitation with more detail that we can share. So I think I've been communicating with all the guides and they've all been sending me kind of bullet points and summaries of what they're doing. So maybe in addition to the summit each month, we could also have something like this where if people request it, I could send you an email template of everything that's going on and you could send it to people you think might be interested. Because yes, I think the personal invitations are going to be the best way to get people, and especially if you already are in contact with them. Are you trying to talk, Christine? You're muted.
You can unmute her, Maria.
I just clicked. Okay, I think it worked.
Okay. So
What
what I'm kind of looking for there is I have probably 10 friends that I think would enjoy this easily, and probably more than that. But I don't want to send out a bulk email. And I probably received 30 or 40 emails from this site each week because I probably clicked on a lot of people. And I looked at a lot of them and I participated in a lot of things over the last month. And I think they're all worthwhile, but you have to pick and choose. But my big question is, I would like to send this information to my friends, but I don't also want to spend an hour writing up something that you already have written or that people may have written to introduce them to the site. I would like, what I'm looking for is, this is kind of the summit. It's a freebie. Come and look at it. Your friend, and I'd be happy to send it. Your friend, Christine, has looked at this and participated and thinks it's wonderful. Would you at least take a look? But I want to be able to send that to 10 people or 20 people, which might help you in the long run, which probably would help you in the long run. So does that answer your question?
Yes. So maybe you would want to be able to share a recording of the summit with people who are on the site.
I don't know. I find it very helpful that there's a back and forth on the summit. So on a recording, that's not a possibility. But a recording might be helpful. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I'm looking at 18 spaces on the gallery that I can see. And some of them, when you swip to the second page, when you swipe, are repeats. You know, some of us pop up over there too. And 6 or 7 of the people here are presenters. So I guess I was just looking for more people to be involved, and I'm looking for a way to try and get more people involved, because I think this is wonderful. Does that help?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
That's good feedback.
It is very
we'll
good.
See what we can do.
Jenny asked a question in the chat. She says, I'm new to this group and have not joined yet. Will you please explain how the courses work? Are they pre-recorded or live, daily or weekly? All of the above. we have some live events which generally last under an hour. They're not all courses. We have ceremonies, we have meditations, of really a wide variety, discussions, a wide variety of experiences. We have movement sessions, we have practice. So, you know, whatever you go into will be most likely less than an hour. It will be saved on the site, so it will be recorded. So if you're not able to be there live, you could catch it. Like I suggested, pick a couple and say you're going to follow them. And that way you'll know when it's posted or when it's happening, because you'll receive a little reminder. And as you work during the month with that teacher or guide and with that small group of people, you'll start making connections too, which is another important part of this. I find I've been going on most of them. I'm doing one a day. And it has really, by the end of the month of June, I was so much more relaxed than I was when I started. It was just a beautiful opportunity to have a guide help me to go within and experience peace every day. Wow. Hope that answers the question.
And I'll just follow up briefly on that. So my experience was that I signed up created a profile for myself on the site, and then was able to essentially RSVP for any of the either weekly live events that I wanted to participate in, and I would join them at that designated time, like a scheduled meeting, or I would take advantage of some of the pre-recorded material that I could watch at my leisure. And so even if you sign up for a weekly program or a weekly event, it's sort of attend as you're able. And so that's been really nice. And then there's a number of different forums or opportunities to interact with people just through text online. But the classes are kind of pick and choose, and you can sign up through the upcoming events. So you can select one or all of them in a series, for example.
And then there's another question from Jenny. What is CrowdStack?
Yes, so I tried to indicate that's just kind of our host website for our website. So it's livingpeacenow.org. And as Emily explained, once you sign up and create a profile at livingpeacenow.org, which is CrowdStack, kind of confusing, but basically you just need to sign up at our website, and then the link that Louise shared, you'll be able to see all the events And as Emily said, the events have the links to the live events, but also on the website, if you go under program resources and replays, you can see them recorded. So if you weren't able to attend live, you can still see all the live events. And then there's also going to be non-live events such as video blogs and regular blogs that will be posted there as well under program resources and replays. And we're going to be sending out some videos where I do a screen share and I show and explain how to get to everything. So those should be coming out in the next couple of days. So if you're having trouble finding things, if that's helpful.
We chose CrowdStack because it's very dynamic. It allows us to create forums. It allows us to create meeting places, to interact with each other, to communicate in different ways. It is a host site that is unique in allowing us to create and maintain community. That's why we chose it. It's like WordPress is what that was where the site was first. And we couldn't do all those things. So we moved.
Yes, that's correct. And yes, Christine, there are also posts about what's going on Facebook. I don't know if you like the Living Peace Now Facebook page, but every week I try to post what's coming up, what happened, and introduce our spiritual leaders. And then whenever there's a summit coming up, I promote that a lot too, because that's how we get new people in. So all of that's available too. Are there any other questions from anyone or any other comments? Okay,
I would like to say something. And this is the beginning of the manifestation of an idea that is more than a year. I remember Rosemary came up with this project, and I've been from the very beginning with Rosemary with this, and let me tell you that it's the first time that I can see that this is the time where we created this with your desire of understanding, your desire of becoming one with nature, your desire of being experiencing your life without the illusion of separation, as Mo says. And it's fantastic. It requires, as we see, is a little by little, step by step. I guess for the next summit, I hope it will be next month. For the next summit, we will be ready with the translation and all of that, because that's what can I see every single time that we get a meeting. We progress a little bit as we are a community. So I'm just wanted to share that is something that I'm seeing from the very beginning. I'm so glad every day that this is now manifested.
All right, thank you, Oswaldo. I see a question about the membership fee. That is not something I'm familiar with. I know Chris has been managing that. Is that correct?
Okay, the way it works is if you've been on during June, you received a invoice, if you will, for the membership fee for July, which is $10 a month, unless you join up with somebody else, somebody on the site, a friend or a relative or anybody. And then it goes down to $5. And that will continue to be the case. That's because of quantum entanglements that are much more powerful in groups than they are with individuals. So that's really our goal, is to create those peaceful connections. And anything that helps us to make that happen, we're going to prioritize that. So if you want to continue to participate and you don't particularly want to have any friends on or be connected with anyone else, that's fine. But we will reward you with a 50% discount. And that is due at the beginning of the month after you register. So you get a free month first to decide, is this worth $5? And in subscribing, you're supporting the work of creating peace connections. So I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, really quickly, just since we have some new people, I want to show the website. So this is our homepage and what we've been talking about, upcoming events. If you click on this tab, you can view everything coming up. And here you can find, if you go into each event, you can find the link for where we want you to RSVP and join. So if you go into each event that day, you can join, and you can see now we have a password for the Zoom meeting. So that's here. It's the same for everything.
Okay.
And then when here you also want to RSVP, you can change by clicking here. If you RSVP yes, then you're going to get reminders about this in your email, and that's kind of nice. And like I said, there's going to be a video coming up where I show you how to turn off other notifications so you're not getting 1,000 emails. But it's nice just for the events to have reminders. If you need translation, you can indicate that in the comments and post a comment. And also, as I said, programs, resources, and replays will be where the playbacks will be. So if you go under program here, click program, resources, and replays, each spiritual guide kind of has a tab of what they're doing. So if you click into their tab, you're going to see their replays show up here or any other posts. And then finally, those PIPs we were talking about, personal interest posts. If you have a program, click on PIPs. Here you can post.
And the PIPs also are going to have great graphics and ideas, affirmations, comments, creative things that different people who are connected with the site have contributed.
Yes.
So the PIPs are fun to check out every time.
Yeah, and if you ever have any questions about accessing things or what's going on, you can post it in PIPs because Chris and I look at that pretty regularly. So if you're not sure where to ask a question, that's a good place. And yeah, I just wanted to give you all a brief overview, and you should have all the information to access anything. So yeah, thank you all so much for attending today and engaging. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, and I will post a blog about quantum entanglements and tell you the story of living peace now and how really one of the basic events that led to creating this site.
All right, so everyone who's not a presenter, we're done. Presenters maybe will regroup a couple minutes after everyone signs off, but that's the conclusion of the summit. Again, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
No, tú te puedes quedar, no te vayas. Siempre después de la reunión tenemos un pequeño meeting para ver qué pasó.
Ah, okay.
Okay. I don't know. Your comments?
Okay. Yeah, I think it went well. Did everyone feel comfortable with everything?
Yeah.
I loved the everybody's contributions on connectedness. Wow, this is going to be an awesome